So there may be some of you coming to this video with this exact question right here. So what is the X Games League? Or there may be some of you coming to this video who now have this question because you have never heard of it until seeing this video. Well, today I'm here to talk about what I'm interpreting this to be, and they spelled it out pretty well, so I think it'll be pretty easy, but also to talk about how I feel it could help BMX, as well as, how we could potentially perceive it and utilize it, or at least the mindset that I hope some people will have with it moving forward, because it doesn't actually happen until 2026. So it all started with a post on the X Games Instagram page right here, introducing the first ever X Games League. X Games outlines expansive plans for innovative X Games League. Will include year-round global schedule and new team format. Move represents transformation of X Games platform following MSP Sports Capital acquisition. June 13th, 2024, New York, X Games, the leading action sports competition for 30 years, will introduce a bold new global team-based format in 2026. Backed by MSP Sports Capital, a Nahafi cost portfolio company, the X Games League, XGL, will provide a year-round international competition calendar for X Games that will enable athletes to earn compensation beyond the $2.4 million already awarded through existing prize purses. Pause. Holy crap. 2.4 million. That's a lot already. In essence, we've used Formula One as a model for this new X Games League, says Jeff Murad, executive chairman of X Games and principal of MSP Sports Capital. To that end, we are creating a year-round calendar and introducing new commercial opportunities to accelerate the overall growth of X Games. These opportunities will provide a secure and sustainable future for our most important stakeholders, the athletes. That sounds really nice. By leveraging the incredibly valuable X Games brand, we will create a durable global business that will be good for athletes, fans, investors, and sponsors. X Games League. So this has 3,500 likes on it so far, and probably a lot of comments that don't show up. ESPN's on there saying can't wait. That's cool. So with that, I saw this and I was like, so does that include BMX? Like, I don't know what exactly this means. And I think there's a lot of people who saw this and are like, I don't know exactly what this means. So they made another post today, just about an hour ago. You're seeing this in the future, but I'm recording it about an hour after this post went out. Coming in 2026, X Games is proud to bring an all-new concept to the world of action sports, building cross-discipline teams with both men and women. The X Games League is centered around providing athletes with a consistent and sustainable career path in action sports, while giving you, the fans, more action. Read on and drop any additional questions you have below. So what is the X Games League? All right, let's figure that out. Explain it to me like I'm 5. To put it simply, 2 X Games events a year isn't enough. The people want more. So X Games is building 2 leagues, one winter and one summer, with cross-discipline teams. What the F does cross-discipline mean? Imagine a winter team with men and women in snowboarding and skiing, or a summer team with men and women in BMX and skateboarding. Easy enough. Why are you doing this? Action sports deserves to be on a pedestal year-round and not just a few times a year. Athletes deserve a secure and sustainable living. That means more contests and more ways to earn. Okay, so more comps. How many? 4 global winter events and 4 global summer events, both including the US. Each league will have its own points structure, and athletes within the teams will contribute points towards a team's individual championship. Why teams? Teams will provide athletes with a new level of stability, including an annual income, benefits, and additional commercial opportunities. This will also give audiences more opportunities to watch and support their favorite athletes and find new ones. Will there be medals and prize money? Yes, medals and prize money will continue to be included in all X Games contests. Last year, X Games paid out $2.43 million. $2.43 million. XGL aims to make that much more. How will teams be selected? With an annual industry-wide draft. If an athlete is nominated for the draft but is not selected by a team, they will remain eligible as alternates. What does this mean for the industry? There's a lot here. I know I'm reading a lot, but I'm going to talk about my feelings with it, but there's a lot to say and we'll go through each one. I think this could be amazing for BMX and action sports. What does this mean for the industry? Not enough people are putting money into our industry. Yes. We're putting the top athletes into a context structure that is known and easily digested by the masses. Yes. Creating more opportunity for your favorite athletes. Oh, that was part of the previous sentence. We're putting up the top athletes into a contest structure that is known and easily digested by the masses, creating more opportunity for your favorite athletes. Sounds great. And more people watching more often means more opportunity for the industry as a whole. Wouldn't it be rad if everyone cared about this thing that we loved and knew what a tray flip was? Or a crank flip? Why should I care? This is the last slide. Contests might not be your thing, but a thriving action sports industry is good for everyone. With more opportunity, we all eat. That, I love the way they ended that. So let's scroll back to the beginning. My first impressions on this are that it is exactly what a lot of people have been asking for and saying that something like BMX or action sports in general has needed for years at this point. We have no reason for non-endemic sponsorship to get involved with BMX as a whole. I can't speak for skateboarding or any other action sports, but BMX does not offer anything, and BMX riders do not offer anything to non-endemic sponsors that could come in and want to support any type of BMX thing. A contest and supporting a contest, okay, maybe you might be able to get some involvement, but a rider itself, beyond energy drinks and things like that, I don't think that without something like this, we would have seen anything like the Slim Jim or Call Collect or those types of things in this from their era. I don't think we would have seen anything like that without something like this happening. And in terms of the X Games League itself, what it feels like is that it's an entity with deep pockets who's coming in, hopefully trying to help BMX and action sports from a good place, coming in with those deep pockets and trying to put a structure in place that can actually help things. So my first impressions are that people are going to see this and they're going to hate on it and try to exclude it. There's going to be those people. And to those people, I say, keep on scrolling. If you're core and you're out there doing your thing, then hopefully this won't affect you at all. Or if you just enjoy doing whatever you do, just keep on scrolling. It's that simple. If this doesn't impact, I would like to hear, I don't even care. I don't want to hear how this could impact you because I don't think that it would in a meaningful way. With that being said, what it could do is elevate all of BMX and all of action sports as a whole. This is an entity coming in, bringing a structured format that makes it so that BMX and other action sports could be seen in a similar way as normal mainstream sports, because the normies out there do not care about a core street whatever edit. The stuff that you get tagged in on Facebook is the stuff that they care about, the super creative, off the wall, nutso stuff of like Danny McAskill or people who are like that in other industries, people who are riding on a bowl that's suspended underneath of a hot air balloon, crazy stuff like that. But if we create something, or X Games League creates something that normal people can follow the way that they follow football or basketball or anything like that, then it could be an amazing opportunity for normal people to watch it. And you might not want normal people to watch it, but I do, because that can get more people involved, and it could get more people in BMX paid. If they have street and park type events with this, who knows? Like, we don't know what the layout's going to be. So let's go through these one at a time and talk about them and my feelings about this. Put simply, X Games, 2 events a year isn't enough. We want more. Building 2 leagues, talked about that a little bit. What's cross-discipline mean? I think this is something that could only help because of elements that I've talked about in previous video, or in the previous industry talk that I had, where if we all promote to the same eyeballs and put a whole bunch of money into a whole bunch of different people that all promote to the same audience, then you're kind of effectively, you're helping out people, but you're not utilizing the money the best way that you could. So seeing this, you have eyeballs from snowboarding going into skiing, and skiing going into snowboarding. And then you've got BMX, people being watched by skateboarding audiences, and skateboarding audiences being watched by BMX audiences. And then you've got the cross-pollination. I hope that's how I'm pollination. I don't know. Then you have all of them coming together because of X Games being a media machine while also running these contests, to be able to help everybody be seen by everybody. And that is what will make non-endemic sponsors and people that X Games and people that are there affiliated with, and the company that it owns, X Games, people that they're affiliated with, outside companies from BMX and skate and action sports in general, that makes it more easy for them to get involved with something like this. So then you see someone who rides BMX and is involved with the X Games League being helped out by Doritos or Cheetos or something like that, even though they aren't one-to-one working with them as if they're, just a rider who got involved with that. But think gaming. Yeah, it's a weird comparison for people who haven't, seen that world or maybe don't understand, but think of gaming and gaming organizations, how you have like Optic Gaming or FaZe or 100 Thieves or whatever, and you see that this larger organization, which would be X Games League, and how they are able to more easily justify and return on an investment to a non-endemic company than someone could do on their own ever. That's how it could work with the X Games League. You have a league-wide sponsor that helps out everybody, and then everybody gets to benefit from that. Then you see relationships building with these companies, with the athletes, and who knows where it could go from there. Why are you doing this? Action sports deserve to be on its pedestal year-round. Absolutely. Athletes deserve a secure and sustainable living. If this can provide that for people, then that is going to be amazing, to have people not have to lean on other sources of income as much or be as worried about things. And then that allows more people to do more cool things for their sport. That's the idea. Of course, you might end up with people who don't do anything to give back to their sport, but that happens everywhere already. So just having this could be a good thing that could help people be able to live easier, and that is awesome to see. What else? 4 global winter and 4 global summer events. Point structure, athletes within the teams will contribute points towards the team's individual championship. That is what normies will be able to follow outside of BMX riders and skateboarders and all of that. That's what people who watch only football and basketball will be able to see and be like, oh, person points fantasy league. I want this guy. He adds points. He's a ringer. We're going to learn more about him. We're going to talk about him at work. More people are going to talk about these things, which the rising tide floats all boats. Could be great. Why teams? Teams will provide athletes with a new level of stability, annual income. So that means if you're just on this team, it sounds like you get an annual income, benefits, additional commercial opportunities. Just like I was saying, the additional commercial opportunities thing is that affiliated, non-endemic or even endemic sponsors for this, these athletes would be able to work with them more likely, and you'll have an incentive to do so. And X Games League is going to want to do that to push it out to more people. And we have to get past this idea in BMX that making money is bad. Making money inherently is not bad. It's when you're greedy and only make the money and then do nothing with it to help anyone, or even then, like if you're just trying to make a living, it sounds more like it's just jealousy of people who can make money and support themselves through things. So I don't know how this could be a bad thing, especially for those people. This will also give audiences more opportunities to watch and support their favorite athletes and find new ones. Exactly what I've been saying. This just makes sense. This answers so many of the things that I talked about in my industry chat that I did. I think this could just help BMX and help action sports. And it gives a value to the rider. The rider is involved with this X Games League organization, and it gives them a value outside of just being a rider. And it gives them a way to justify working with companies because that they aren't even going to be the ones having to organize it, more than likely. Will there be medals? Great. $2.4 million last year to athletes. That is incredible. And if it could be grown, who knows what it could become. And if we see more people in BMX who are able to live, and then just more opportunity arises for these things. I love it. And if you are watching this and you do have counter arguments for things, I would love to read comments of those counter arguments and then talk about those in a subsequent video that's like a follow-up to this. Because I know sometimes I have a tendency to look at these things and try my best to look at them through rose-colored glasses to just see the best in things. And sometimes I'll miss a valid point. And there are always valid points, and there will be valid points about this as well. But I think that this overall will be a net positive for all of BMX. How will teams be selected? With an annual industry-wide draft. That's pretty cool. And if they do it right, it could be just a culmination and a consensus of people in the industry who genuinely feel like a person should be on there. So nominating people, and hopefully this has nothing to do with sponsors of X Games League, and it's just the best of the best and the people who deserve to be nominated. Time will tell. This is one of those places where a valid point could be made towards like this could go away, that would be a bummer, but it also could not. So we will have to see. What does it mean for the industry? Not enough people are putting money into our industry. Yes, that is 100%. There are more people taking from the industry than putting into it. So putting the top athletes into a contest structure that is already known and easily digested by the masses, like I've been saying, something that people already can understand, like how football and basketball and those, the finals and championships and all of these things work, could just make it easier for people to even become a fan of something. Creating more opportunities for your favorite athletes. Yes, more people watching more often means more opportunity for the industry as a whole. Yes, because as we've heard from people, I think even Edwin was one of those people who saw X Games on TV and then wanted to ride. So we see, like, there's always this argument of like, oh, we're only going to see certain types of riding and how does that help this or whatever. is because once someone gets involved with BMX, they might not have gotten into it for a certain aspect of riding, but they got into it and then saw a certain aspect that wasn't what they originally were watching, and then decided to take that path. But it's just getting people in that I feel like is the hard part and the struggle, and something like this could absolutely help with that. Wouldn't it be rad if everyone cared about this thing that we love? There's a lot of people in BMX who would say, no, we don't want anyone caring. But that's how industries die, because we need to grow it, or at least sustain it to keep it sustainable. And I'd say right now, BMX as it is, isn't really sustainable. And that's why a lot of people are talking about struggling, because there's so much, what's the word I'm looking for? There's so much stuff in stock. There's so much product that companies have that they're sitting on that they're not able to, feel freely able to just invest in creating new stuff or even making new stuff because of the old stuff they're sitting on. That if we had BMX or whatever it might be grow and more people buy stuff, then that opens up more cash flow. It opens up less product that people have to be sitting on. Yeah, this could all fall flat and not succeed at all. But I would say that X Games has an incentive to make sure this works. And X Games, with its name that everyone recognizes, could make that happen. Contests might not be your thing, but a thriving action sports industry is good for everyone. With more opportunity, we all eat. We all eat. Just makes sense. And this is something I didn't even think to touch on until now, that this could be good for the camaraderie between different people as well. If two people, BMX and skate people work together to do their best, or however this ends up panning out or being structured, if people watch their favorite skateboarder and a BMX rider having to do well together in order to get points and potentially win a championship, maybe it would help them accept the other side for whoever might have those negative feelings. So it could go towards bringing everybody together in a great way as well, to where we see more than just X Games in the US as an action sports festival. We see all of these become action sports festivals, and then somebody else sees how X Games League, if it does well, someone else sees that and then wants to start their own league up. Then we have competing leagues, and that competition breeds innovation, and that could be amazing for the industries as a whole, because I've heard that is part of the whole X Games Do Tour conversation, was that it was competing networks, and that was what helped bring rise to the explosion that was those multi-$1,000 contracts just for putting stickers on helmets. And yeah, we might not end up in an era like that ever again, because it was only on TV in a time where people didn't have the internet to watch anything they want anytime they want. If X Games League becomes a thing and people want to watch that, then companies, non-endemics, endemics, whatever, might be willing to pay, because if people want to see that, then they might be willing to pay to get in front of that audience. And it brings a value that right now doesn't really exist, because everything's available for free on the internet everywhere as soon as it happens. But if we create a thing that brings more value because it is X Games League and people are excited for that, and only certain people are in it because of nominations and getting into it from that, then that could potentially bring more value and make more people want to sponsor it, support it, invest in it, and grow and blow up the whole thing. So I really, really hope that this is perceived well in BMX and in action sports. I already saw comments from people saying, call me, bring me in, whatever. I really hope that BMX accepts this. And if you see people hating on this in the comments or whatever, just tell them to keep scrolling, because if it's not for them, something else is for them. And we tend to live in a world where people act like if something isn't for them, that it shouldn't exist at all. And we got to get past that mindset, because there's different strokes for different folks, and everything has a right to exist unless it's hurting people in certain ways, like genuinely hurting people. And we just got to get past this mindset that if I don't like it or it's not for me, I'm going to act like it shouldn't exist. You know, we should be grown adults and say, oh, that's cool for people who like it. I'm going to keep scrolling. You go through everyday life not caring at all about other hobbies and things that people enjoy that don't affect you at all. So just because this is affiliated with your thing that you love and care about doesn't mean that it has to be ultimately and immediately be bad. So I really hope that doesn't happen. I hope this is perceived well. And thank you, whoever, what is it? Who was it? Thank you to MSP. Where's it at? MSP Sports Capital. I thought I could read it somewhere. Either way, thank you to them for making this happen. And I'm really excited to see what comes of this. And I hope that other people are as well. Please leave your thoughts and comments down below. If you have a criticism of it, leave it down below. If you have negative thoughts towards it, leave it down below, but keep it constructive so that we can have these conversations, and maybe it can get back to them and they can combat it from the start to make it something that everybody can be excited about. But for right now, I don't think we know enough about this for anybody to be like, no, we can't have this, other than people who don't want organization. But organization is how things can grow. And I really, really, really am excited for 2026 and to see what happens with this. So thanks for watching. Leave your thoughts, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for another video. Goodbye.